Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Socksgate, the Queen storming out, or was it in, of a photo shoot. Anton Deck, fake phone-ins, fake documentaries, rigged quizzes. It seems like you just can't trust the television anymore. Where would it all end? I mean, will you stop watching the television? Ring in and let me know. I mean, we're not like that here on Radio 4. Radio is different. We have very loyal listeners and we respect you, and we would never try to mislead you in any way. So call in now, absolutely live, to me, Gary Bellamy, on Down the Line, and join all the other members of the great British public who phone in absolutely live to this show. 0800 068 7060 or email us at downtheline@bbc.co.uk. Now, this is not talk sport, and frankly, I don't know a lot about it, but even I can see that as a nation, we're a little bit rubbish at sport. Let's face it, we haven't done well in any major sporting event since 1966. Now, we're brilliant at inventing sports like football, rugby, cricket, I don't know, darts, swimming. Did we invent swimming? We probably did. We teach these games to the rest of the world, and then they go and beat us at it. It's just not fair. We're hosting the Olympics in 2012, but we won't be winning anything. So what do you think about sport? Ring in and let us know. 0800 068 7060 or email downtheline@bbc.co.uk. OK, hello, you're down the line. Who's there? Hello?
Hello, this is Abdul.
Hello, Abdul.
How are you?
Do you know what? I'm really good. You got a call about the media, yeah?
Yeah, I don't like the media in this country. Everything that they do is to create a bad impression of the Middle East.
Right, why do you think that?
Because I think there's some kind of conspiracy going on where there are so many Muslims in this country and so many people from the Middle East who are we are very liberal-minded, we are very reasonable people.
Well, actually, funny enough, I see, for example, when I watch the BBC News, I see what good things are happening in Iraq and how there are improvements being made all the time. So actually, we are getting some good feedback from the Middle East as well.
Yes, but that's only because that you go into Iraq and you do $800 million worth of damage, but then you get $1 billion worth of contracts. This is all big business. Frankly, that's not a very valid argument at all. I
think I see a lot of these Middle Eastern people enjoying war. They wave their guns in the air. To be frank, what I see in the news, in the images of news.
Are you serious? These reviews, which are highly offensive views.
They're not highly offensive. I'm just reacting to what I've seen on news reports.
Exactly. This is what all they show on news reports. That's all they show. They're taking it completely out of context. This is maybe somebody's party in a back garden with a barbecue, and somehow it's all over the news as if this is everybody in Iraq. This is completely wrong.
Well, that's my whole point. That is a fair point. I agree with you there. We never see any images of Middle East people going 10-pin bowling or playing golf.
Exactly. We play golf all the time.
Do you?
We play golf. We play. I would love you to come around my house. In fact, we play Monopoly tonight. I would like to see a few TV cameras around there just to capture that we are normal people doing normal things, and being demonized all the time, I think, is an absolute disgrace.
So when you're playing Monopoly, if it's going badly for you, you might drive the car into a hotel on Park Lane and then blow it up.
Well, you see, look, this is my friend, okay, very funny, but this is precisely the kind of humor that we find offensive, and it's fueled exactly by the media that we are...
It's fueled by the people, hang on, it's fueled by the people doing it in the first place. If people weren't driving their cars into checkpoints and blowing them up, right, we wouldn't be able to film it or have this spin because it wouldn't be happening. Do you see what I mean?
Okay, my friend, let me tell you this, okay? We have a news bulletin in the Middle East, okay? Fred West every single day. Fred West, Rose West. That's all we see about Great Britain. Would you be happy about that?
No, actually, no. To be honest with you, I always found Fred West a very frightening little man.
Exactly.
Well, I know. Thanks very much for your call. I agree with what you're saying. I understand that we do have a very distorted view, and not all Muslims are terrorists, like not all English people are child murderers.
Thank you so much. That was my point exactly.
Thank you very much for your call. OK, I've got Sandy down the line. Hello, Sandy.
Gary, hello.
Hello.
I'm very excited. I'm just ringing in. I'm going to be competing for the 2012 Olympics. Yeah, Great Britain, GB, the best.
What are you going to be doing? What's your event?
I don't know yet. I was just ringing in to see if you had any ideas.
Okay. What? How old are you?
I'm 26. I'm an admin assistant at a printer's.
You're 26?
And, that's right.
So
I like to set myself challenges, you see. I did a fun run for a children's hospice, and I ran 4 miles, and I raised £250. I was sponsored.
You're 26, so you'll be about, 31? How old in 2012? I mean, that's you need to find a sort of a sport that's, for older people, maybe. I mean, you're getting on a bit. Air rifle, rifling.
Is that an Olympic sport?
It is, and actually the British are quite good at it. They win quite often.
I'll do that then. swim.
How's your eyesight?
Poor.
What else? What other things?
About,
can you ice skate?
No.
Can you...
I can try.
Can you jump?
No.
Can you swim?
Yes.
Right.
I can swim.
What about synchronised swimming? Have you got any friends?
Synchronised swimming? No.
Can you throw?
Yes.
Can you throw the hammer, maybe?
Yeah, well, I threw a screwdriver at someone the other day.
Well, let's just hope they introduced a throwing the screwdriver event and you might just win the gold.
Thank you, Gary, for your support.
Or probably bronze. There's bound to be someone who throws a screwdriver better than you. Some of these Eastern Europeans are brilliant at it, you know?
Oh, yes. Good point.
Well, maybe that should be our official slogan for the 2012 Olympics. Britain, going for bronze.
Oh!
What do you think about that? Because you know what? We won't be disappointed, will we?
No!
Thanks very much.
Bye, Gary.
Bye. OK, I've got Jeff Leopard on the phone. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, Gary. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. You're down the line. What's your point today?
I'm thinking about sport, Gary. You know, we've invented most of the modern sports, and yet we find ourselves lagging behind everyone else, like...
Yeah.
Funny idea I've got, Gary. Wouldn't it have been better if we'd only told them some of the rules?
That's a good
so
point.
So that when we played them, we could say, hang up, wait a minute, red card, you've got that wrong, that's not fair, you can't do that, and then we might be able to compete, Gary.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I'm rubbish at sport myself.
Really? Why are you so bad? Are you fit?
I'm not bad at boggle.
Thank you very much for your call.
Thank you very much.
OK, we're talking about distrust in the media. Are we all being taken for a ride? And we've got someone down the line. Hello.
Hello there, yes.
Yes?
Stephen.
Hello, Stephen.
Yes, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do about regaining our trust in the media, and I just wondered what your thoughts were on that.
I don't know what we're going to do about it. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. This is the question.
No, I don't know. What would you...
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually curious to know what you think. I don't know.
What would I think? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you say ring up and ask if you have a question or something, so that's what I'm doing.
Well, the whole point of this programme is that people ring in with their opinions. You know, it's not about my opinion, it's about yours, so...
What, you don't have an opinion?
No, I have an opinion, but, you know...
Well, then express your opinion.
Well, but it's not about me, especially. It's about you. I want to know what your opinions are.
No, I don't know, but I'm ringing up to find out your opinion.
OK, my opinion is... What would you do?
Well, now you're prying.
Well, hang on.
Excuse me.
No, I'm only asking what you think...
When you get off asking me questions like that?
But this is a discussion...
Is this what the BBC does now? Prying into personal questions. Another scandal for the BBC.
No, I'm only asking...
More heads to roll.
Look, I'm not asking you the size of your...
I'm sorry, you're asking me the size of... Well,
no, I'm not asking you that. I'm not asking you a personal...
This show, talk about dumbing down at the BBC. You don't get this with Sarah Kennedy.
Oh... OK, I've got Christopher Nibbs on the phone from Pevensey Bay to talk about the Olympics. Hello, Christopher.
Yeah, Chris Nibbs.
Hello.
You know, the Olympics, Gary. Well, what's going on there? There's so much drug-taking going on. It seems to become just all about drugs. Nibsy here doesn't know why they don't just throw their hat in and make drug-taking an Olympic event. I think Britain would probably do pretty well in there. We'd probably get quite a few gold medals. Nibs here can picture Pete Doherty there getting the gold.
Oh, crumbs.
I'm sure he could get some able support. Maybe Keith Richards could get a silver. George Michael, he likes Jazz Woodbine, doesn't he? Yeah, you know, thoughts just come to Nibsy. Of course, they'd have to do drug testing, and I'm sure some people might be disqualified for not taking drugs, for faking it. I don't think we'll seriously ever see that happen. I was just making a satirical point.
Right.
Nibs here wasn't seriously saying
No,
we will ever have drug-taking at an Olympic event. But, you know, why not? As I say, it's something that we British are pretty good at, and I think Doherty there, he'd definitely be up for a gold, wouldn't he?
Yeah, oh, geez.
Maybe he could even go in for the mixed doubles with Amy Winehouse.
Well, Nibsy, I don't know where we'd be without you. Thanks very much for your call.
Always a pleasure, GB. Never a chore.
Thank you, Chris.
Chris Nibs.
OK, I've got Morris. Hello, Morris.
How you doing, Gary? Right?
I'm OK.
Listen, right, I'm about to talk to you about all the phone lines on the TV.
Yeah.
What people don't realise, right, the TV is not real. The television is like a box with lights in it, you know what I'm saying? See if Rich and Judy, right, if they stepped to me on the street and they said, "Oi, read this book," I'll probably just dash them in the head. But my friend buys the books because they say so.
Well, they're only recommending them.
Listen, right, all them phone lines, people deserve what they get. My friend Kemlo, right, He called Babe Station. You see that Babe Station? They have girls in underwear, right?
That's the one where they tease you and you ring up the number and they talk to you.
You got it, man. You watched it, innit?
Well, I haven't watched it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't watch.
Listen to me. The geezer's rung up one of them girls, right, all night. He was on the phone for 9 hours, and he's calling me the next day. He's going, Morris, man, she loved me, man. She's going to text me a photo of her downstairs parts, right? He got a phone bill, right, for £764, Rasta. For that much money, right, he could have taken some young beans to Paris, right, stayed in a mid-price hotel, and laid with her skin on skin, for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he could have done. Thanks very much for your call. Okay, now on the line I've got Graham Downs. Hello, Graham.
Hello, Gary.
All right.
Not really, no.
Oh.
Oh, I'm a bit upset, actually, as it goes today.
Why is that?
Well, because this topic is coming up about whether things are real or not in the media. I mean, it's upsetting to me because people are questioning you, aren't they, indirectly? Well, you know, to me how important your program is and the radio has been my constant companion for many years.
You don't have to worry about us. You know, this is, we're honest. You don't have to worry. You can sleep well at night.
No, I love the BBC. I love playing their license. I think it's a wonderful value for money, Gary.
I agree.
You know, just a radio 4 alone, Gary. You do it. But the other thing, they're too timid. When these newspapers criticise them, my BBC just roll over, don't they? And I say to them, no. They stand up against them because the newspapers, they're most deceitful of all, aren't they?
That's true, it's a good point.
They print lies and distortions every day and malicious rumours about people, and a lot of the time they're not substantiated. I don't see them apologising the next day. No, they're not answerable to no one.
No, when they do apologise, they do it in tiny little letters, don't they?
I do something wrong, Gary. It might take me some time to come round to realise I've done it. I will say, look, I'm very sorry, Mum. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't realise it was the last box of sugar puffs or something like that, you know. Well, they won't apologise. I think that they're cowards, Gary. Sorry, it's not the hardest word to say, Gary. It's not the hardest word. I've had to say sorry many times.
So, Graham, what do you think is the hardest word to say?
Oh, stop it, Gary. Because I was upset, and that's the second time you've cheered me up.
It's that place in Wales, isn't it, Graham?
Well, there's that one.
Can you say it?
Anti-disestablishmentarianism.
You can say that.
I can say that. I can't say that Welsh place, land very well. But I can say supercalifragilistic expialidocious.
Oh, Graham, thank you so much for your call.
Thanks, Gary. Don't worry, because you've got unwavering support, I'll tell you, mate, from me.
Okay.
All right, mate.
See you later. Thanks for your call.
Hello.
Bye. We're talking about, do we trust anything we see on TV anymore? And down the line, we have the Pearly King. Hey!
Hello there.
Hello.
Oh, lovely.
All right, so, do you trust the TV anymore?
Would you have an open sewer running through your front room?
No.
We don't have it on no more.
Right.
We're at the Joanna.
Is that bad, is it, the telly?
The TV was brought in to replace the wireless. The wireless was brought in to replace the Joanna. Simple as that. A piano can't lie.
You can't just say that just because you play a piano and you're singing around it and you're singing sing-song.
My friend, music never lies. It comes from the soul. If a man is playing the piano, that's all you're going to get, honesty. The little black and white keys. Ebony and ivory, side by side on my keyboard. Whoa, Lord, why don't we? No, Gary, let me be serious with you. Let's try and be serious.
That was a serious point, I thought.
Of course we don't trust people on the TV. I wouldn't trust Ant the Deck to wash my windows.
Well, they'd be too short, wouldn't they?
Oh, that's a good one, that. Gary, can I ask you something, my old mucker?
Go on, then.
Why don't you come down my way, we'll have a sing-song?
No. Thanks very much for your call. Okay, let's go down the line. We've got Felicity Wicks on the phone. Hello, Felicity.
Hello. I'm ringing up about drug testing. I've been listening to your callers calling in about athletes. And it's my child's sports day next week, and he always comes last. It really does upset him terribly. He hates to lose.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to know is, where can one get hold of these These performance-enhancing drugs, are they available over the counter?
No, I don't think you should give them to children. Also, surely winning and losing is a part of life. And so what if your child loses?
It's just, it makes him so terribly upset. I think
these drugs do have very harmful side effects.
Such as?
You can become very aggressive, your testicles shrink, your head gets smaller.
My son is a very gentle child, and sometimes I think he needs a bit of roughing up. Children should be running around causing havoc, getting dirty and muddy and violent.
Look, maybe he's not going to be a sportsman. Maybe he's going to be a scientist or an artist.
I doubt he'll amount to much. I really do doubt that.
Well, if you've got that attitude towards him, he's not going to amount to anything, is he? He'll end up like his father, working in middle management. I doubt he'll amount to much. Come to think of it, I'd like my husband to try them too. He's very lethargic. And my mother-in-law also, she lives with us. She has trouble getting up and down the stairs. If I could just give her something, they should be whizzing up and down in no time, and she wouldn't be sitting there moaning on the sofa. The dog as well, I've got such a lazy dog. You know, most dogs are excited, they want to go for walks. This dog just lies there in front of the radiator. Look, they just need some motivation rather than performance-enhancing
So
drugs.
lazy, collectively, so lethargic.
Thanks very much for your call. Hello, I've got Richard Teal on the phone. Hello, Richard.
I'd like to talk about the media.
Yeah?
It's all lies.
Is it?
I think that we have our minds twisted by the media from a very young age.
Yeah.
As a young boy, my head was turned when I was witness to people like the Jolly Green Giant, Ronald McDonald, the Honey Monster. And I believed in these things. And
What, Father Christmas, Jesus, the Tooth Fairy?
you very rarely saw the Jesus, not aligned to food products.
They should use Jesus more often in advertising. I suppose it would cause a lot of complaints. But if you saw Jesus drinking a nice wine or eating some corn, you'd probably eat it yourself. Carry on.
I saw the Honey Monster.
Yeah.
He was laughing. His body shook, and he looked at me through the screen, and I wanted to be his friend. I saw Ronald McDonald laughing, and I wanted to have hamburgers with him. A happy meal. A happy meal. Not a sad meal.
I always think the Home Pride man looks quite friendly.
Poke him in the stomach. Does he not bleed? No, he laughs.
Right, well, what's your point?
My point is that how are we to distinguish from what is real and what is fake? Do I trust Anton Deck? No. Do I trust David Frost? No. Do I trust Steve Ryder? No. Do I trust Tony the Tiger? Great! No. Who do I trust?
No, hang on a minute, but the difference is, you know, you talk about believing in, say, the Jolly Green Giant. That's an advert.
As a child, I saw the Jolly Green Giant with his hands on his hips, laughing, and the corn was laid out before him, and I wished he was real. I wished he would carry me away in his green arms to a better place.
Well, listen, thanks very much for the call.
While I'm on,
Okay, I've got Nicholas Pointner on the phone. Hello, Nicholas. You're down the line.
Thank you very much. I'm ringing in about, do we believe everything we see on the radio and hear on the television? But the thing is, there's this perceived notion that documentaries are in some way more realistic than drama.
Well, they are, aren't they?
But are they? We are led to believe they are more real. Are they inherently more real? As soon as you choose what topic you're going to make your documentary about, you are making a choice. As soon as you turn up and decide where to point your camera, you are making a selective, subjective choice. As soon as you are choosing who do we interview, as soon as you hire an editor, you are altering reality. You are altering the natural sequence of events, if there ever was a natural sequence of events. It goes further than that, doesn't it? Well, it comes back to our own perception of reality in our everyday life. How do we know that anything is real? It's the question that has entertained adolescent existentialists for ages, isn't it? You know, am I living in your dream? Are you living in my dream? No, but you're not, though, are you?
But you're not.
It goes back to Plato. He said, what is reality? Is this reality, or are we just looking at shadows on a cave wall projected by a flickering firelight?
But people say, like, are we living in is our dream the real world, or is this world now our real world? Well, I never dreamed last night. But I'm around now, so
I get your point.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not very well put, but I understand what you're grasping
How
at.
dare you?
How do we know even that you're real?
Well, of course I'm real.
There's no way that you can prove that to me.
Well, yeah, I could show you my Molson Awards.
How do we know that your show is in any way real? You're not an actor. The people calling in might be actors. It may all be pre-recorded.
Of course
you
it
say
isn't.
It's live and happening now. We have no proof of that, as the same way as I have no proof that the chair I'm looking at across the room actually really exists.
I can prove to you this is live.
All right, then what time is it?
It's just gone 6:50.
Well, you see, I'm looking at my clock, and it's a couple of minutes difference.
Well, that's because...
How do we know whose clock is telling the real time? What is the real time? Does time really exist? Do you exist? Do I exist? Is the whole
I wish you
thing
didn't exist. In fact, I can make you disexist right now. Right.
I'm still here.
No, you're not.
Am I just in your head?
You're not voicing my head, because you're on the phone, you hear me through the things, and Matt pressed the wrong button. Matt, can you cut him off, please?
I understand you've been in hospital for hearing voices.
That's different. Let's go to another call. Hello, you're down the line. Who's there?
Hello? I'd like to talk to you about the nature of reality. Are you real? Am I real?
You're just putting on a different voice.
Yes, sorry.
Look, just go away, right? Thanks very much. No, I'm not even thanking you for the call. I'd just like to reassure our listeners that this is a real show. I am a real person, and this is live, and there is no way that Radio 4 would hoodwink its listeners into putting on a fake radio talk programme. Right, let's take a real call from a real person right now, live. It's 6:52. Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
What's point Olympics? What is point?
Well, the Olympics, it's the pinnacle of human achievement. The Olympic ideal still holds true today, and all these sports are showcased in a big global event.
What is point global event? What is point?
Oh, I don't know. I love the Olympics. I mean, I don't normally watch sport on TV, but with the Olympics you get to see all those sporting events that you don't normally get to see. Like, I don't know, the javelin.
What is point javelin? What is point?
Well, that was a bit of a bad example, actually. I don't really know. Well, diving?
What is point diving? What is point?
Marathon.
What is point marathon?
Curling, or is it hurling?
What is point curling, or is it hurling?
What about, the dressage?
What is point dressage?
You're right. Horse stuff is quite boring. Although, on the weekend, me and Michaela did go to do a bit of point-to-point with some of her friends from West London.
What is point-to-point?
I think we know where we're going with this, Khalid. Thanks very much for your call.
Thank you.
OK, we're talking about why the British are so rubbish at sport, and we've got a caller now. Who's there?
Tony Green.
Ah, you're an Australian.
How are you, mate?
What's your point?
Look, I don't want to upset too many people here, but essentially the reason the British are no good at sport is because they're British.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, what I'm saying is I've got a number of businesses here, and essentially the British mentality is weak. You're weak-minded.
Why are we weak-minded?
The number of times I have seen employees under my command roll over and die in the boardroom, roll over and die on the shop floor, and you roll over and die on the sports field. You just don't have it. Grit.
Are you saying you've got it?
Well, I think that's fairly obvious.
Yeah, but if you walk into the local walkabout, which is it's an Antipodean pub, it's full of drunks and idiots from the Southern Hemisphere.
I bet you that pub before was an English pub with no customers, making no money, serving terrible food, and now it is a throbbing, thriving Australian business.
And
you people are over.
Hang on,
accept it.
Hang on, but...
Accept it.
No, I'm not accepting...
My name's Gary Bellamy. I am part of a dying race.
No, I'm not saying that, because the reason... Why do you think all your lot are coming over here in the first place? Because it's so boring where you come from.
My name is Gary Bellamy, and I'm part of a dying race.
No, and I'm not saying it. I'm not part of a dying race.
Say it.
I'm not saying...
Listen. Be quiet. Say it. My name is Gary Bellamy, and I am part of a dying race.
I will not say it.
Say it.
I'm not saying it.
Get on your knees and say, my name is Gary Bellamy.
I'm not.
And I am part
I'm
of
not
a
saying
dying
it.
race.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Say it.
I'm not saying it.
Say it. Don't cry.
I'm not crying.
Come on, say it. My name is Gary Bellamy, and I'm part of a dying race. Say it.
My name's Gary Bellamy.
Go on.
I'm part of a dying race.
That's beautiful. Now take some deep breaths. Okay, you feeling better? All right, mate. I'll see you later.
Okay, let's go to the phones. I've got kidney specialist Gordon Fenwater on the line. Hello.
A good day to you, Mr. Bellamy. Now, come along. Chin up.
Yeah.
Apropos of Australia's sporting achievements, I'd just like to point out that despite all their posturing, they've been less than auspicious in recent years, with the possible exception of cricket, at which they do excel. But when we come to rugby union, they came absolutely nowhere in the last 2 World Cups, whereas England won and reached the final in consecutive competitions.
Yeah.
In tennis, they are no longer the force of yesteryear, and in soccer, they have always been quite literally dismal. So much so that they invented Australian rules football, which none of us understands.
Yeah.
Shocking behaviour. A good day to you, sir.
Thanks very much. That's really cheered me up.
Pip, pip.
Right, I've got Oliver Caudette on the phone, who is a junior minister for sport. Wow. Hello, Oliver. Thanks for ringing.
Yes, hello. I wanted to ring in because part of my remit is to look after the Olympics 2012, and it's a very important thing for Britain.
Yes.
And it's a very important thing for our party to get it right.
Of course.
And the main reason I'm ringing in is because we do get slightly fed up about the constant focusing on the area of drugs in sport. This is something that we really do feel is being taken hold of and is being weeded out, and certainly we're adamant that by 2012 this will not be an issue. What we want to do is focus on the sport.
Yeah.
The sport is what's important.
Absolutely, but these days, I mean, drug taking in general isn't really a big deal anymore, is it? We all know someone who's done it.
Yes, of course we do. We all know people who've taken drugs. But obviously the area of drugs in sport, this is different.
Yeah, do you know people who've taken drugs yourself, then?
Let's face it, we live in the modern world. Let's not all go around pretending, people don't take drugs.
No.
Let's be serious about this and honest about this. Yes,
it is good to be honest.
Of course I know people who have taken drugs.
You have? When, and what, at university or something like that?
Certainly at university, there was a lot of that going on. Obviously, it's what a lot of young people do.
Yeah. Did you ever take drugs yourself, or did you join in?
At university.
You took drugs at university?
I did. Well, I must confess. Well, let's face it. I'm human. I was young. At university, I did experiment with marijuana.
You took marijuana, you smoked dope at university?
Like everybody else, yes.
Like everybody else did. So everyone at your university was smoking dope, and you were one of them?
But I was.
And did you inhale it?
Yes, I did.
So you,
yes, I mean, let's not pretend. All these people are saying, I smoked it, but I didn't inhale. We all know that they did. There's no point in trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm normal. I inhaled.
Yeah, and obviously, probably like everyone else, you didn't just start at marijuana. You experimented with other drugs after that too.
Of course. Yeah, there was a little bit of that.
So you did take harder drugs.
Well, on one occasion.
You're ordinary. I mean, a lot of ordinary people, to be fair...
Yeah, let's face it, politicians are ordinary people.
Yeah, what was it, cocaine, heroin and E?
Yeah.
Yes to what?
All of them.
You took all of them?
Well, not at the same time.
Well, thank God for that. Did you snort the cocaine?
Yeah,
Were you injecting?
Well, a little.
Did you freebase?
Perhaps I shouldn't have made this call.
No, perhaps you shouldn't. I mean, it's great to have a politician speaking, with such honesty. It's very refreshing. But I'm guessing tomorrow's newspaper headlines are going to be saying Oliver, whatever your name is no longer Junior Minister for Sport. Thanks for your call. Thanks for all of your calls. And that's it from Down the Line tonight. Good night.